Hello, everybody. Welcome to Read It in Weeb. My name is Davie. This is my co-host Esau. The fuck did you nod?
I was like, oh, what if I just never talked?
That'd be really funny because we have like a video podcast,
Yeah.
so just audio listeners would be in the dark. Yeah. So probably the happiest I've been with any name we've came up with.
Yeah, and the funniest part is it was a turn one name.
Yo, yeah, that was like I literally you said it to me. I gave you my like my revised draft,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh yeah, that's it. That's it.
So he was like, we need a name. I was like, read it and weep. And he was like, read it and weep. And it was like, bam.
Damn, that's good.
Fuck.
So yeah, this is our new podcast. Basically, I thought it'd be fun. Or we think we wanted to do this for a while.
We talk about this a lot. I think we did one episode of just regular like anime, and that was actually really fun. We had a lot of fun doing that, but we just never did it again. And I feel like doing it this time will be a lot better, just because we're less camera shy. First of all, more in tune with talking to each other, and we don't have to deal with other people's schedules.
Yeah. Well, last time we did it over like Discord.
No, we did it here.
No, the what's it called? The anime one?
Yeah, we did it in this seat right here. It was just us. I remember.
Oh fuck, that was years ago. I was thinking of a different one. We wanted to do One Piece. We wanted to read One Piece and talk about it. And then instead of reading arc by arc, we both read the whole thing.
Yeah.
At the time with the whole thing, and now I'm behind. But I thought it'd be fun to go through different manga that we want to like talk about, different stories that I haven't read a lot of manga. I am very not in the know when it comes to like manga and stuff. And so I thought it'd be fun to read them, build like a little library of books, talk about them, and then maybe on the off chance that there's a story you haven't read, show you one of my favorite stories, which more often than not you've also read them or recommended them to me.
I have a lot.
Yeah.
I read a lot. I'm a big old. I actually already have a library.
Yeah. So I'm building my way there. So today we're going to start with Dragon Ball. We both recently picked up the Dragon Ball box set for the manga. We're reading it together. We're going to talk about the first arc in this episode, the Pilaf arc. It was really interesting revisiting it, I think, because there was a lot of stuff where I'm like, oh, I know Dragon Ball, because I do my like reread of Z a good amount of times. Very rarely do I come back to Dragon Ball, even though I really love it. Mostly familiar with the anime, but I've read it one time and now I'm reading it again. Very different than what I remember.
Same. So I did my last reread actually more recently when Super came out. I wanted to start from scratch to refresh my mind for Super.
Yeah.
So I did a complete reread of the entire series from scratch, all the way in the beginning. It was still different from what I remember, especially because this is now the Viz reprint, the Viz print.
Yeah.
There were a lot of weird localizations that I don't agree with going through it, but let's start with like character introductions.
Okay, so I stand by my statement that the like characters of Bulma and Goku are two that are very important to me, and I love them both in the beginning. Like I love these two characters. I love who they become later, which we'll talk about later. Should we go at it in like from the perspective of like we don't know what's going on in the future? Like should we just take it for what it is? And then
Let's start there, and then we'll do like a retrospective.
Yeah, because the last thing I want to do is also like, because if we know the story, I don't want to like spoil it for anyone who like on the off chance hasn't seen Dragon Ball. But the characters of Goku and Bulma are very fun, like right off the bat. Like I love the way they interact. I love the way that Bulma is this like very self-centered, very egotistical person. And then everything that she values, Goku has absolutely no care about because he's a little forest boy who's never
Met a woman.
Yeah, he's never met anyone besides Grandpa.
Name a woman, and then Goku's like, I don't even know what that is.
Who? One thing I will say about Bulma's character that I really don't like, and it stays pretty persistent throughout the Pilaf arc, is how much they really love to make jokes sexualizing Bulma.
Yeah, and I also like it was different when I was young, and I was actually younger than Bulma. Like reading this, I think the first time, probably around the same age actually. But it was like fine then. But rereading it now, it seems really crass.
Yeah, it's really weird because it's like because I'm thinking, oh, they like there's one time in particular where I'm like, okay, they do it like once or twice. No, they keep doing it, and like The Pilaf arc is just like full of that, and like they show Bulma's like full on tits in one panel.
Yamcha.
Yeah, with Yamcha, and it's really weird because like
His eyes turned into boobies.
it's just so strange because like okay, I know I just said I wouldn't talk about the future. They don't do that to adult Bulma.
Well, yeah, she's old.
You're right.
Ew. Well, to be fair, they don't do that with anyone in the future.
Yeah, true. But there's not a character they really do that to in Dragon Ball as far as we are. They'll make jokes like Master Roshi will make jokes about other characters in the future, but it's like it is weird.
Anyway,
it is my
Pilaf.
major gripe.
More focusing on Pilaf. I like Pilaf as an individual character. He's one of my favorite. Like rereading this, I think he is my favorite villain right now.
Yeah, but like what's so weird is that I remember him being way more involved in this arc.
Yeah,
He's there just for like at the end.
2 seconds.
This is not the Pilaf arc.
Yeah, it's introductions plus Pilaf essentially.
Yeah, and it's like because like the fucking Bunny Man was in there a good amount more than Pilaf.
Send that motherfucker to the moon.
He did. It just I remember him being way more involved because like in the manga it's like episode 1. He's like, we have to find the Dragon Balls. Find them for me.
Yeah, it's really. I think the anime just wanted to set up. Like they were like, oh, we have the foresight to include him, so that's why they did that.
Yeah.
But now that but like reading through the like initial time, like character setup, world building, strength setup, and then they were like, now Pilaf. And it does feel kind of out of nowhere, except it makes sense. There's no reason for Pilaf to have known Bulma had the Dragon Balls. I don't think they have a radar. They're just hunting these things down, right?
Yeah, they just got very lucky, essentially.
Yeah, so that's how they're dealing with that. There's no reason for Bulma and Goku to search them out until they did because they're gathering Dragon Balls. So there's no reason for them to have interacted, like unless like a clash on a different Dragon Ball, but there's no reason for that.
Yeah, but my thing, and it's just very weird because I don't have a problem with it per se. I just think it's very weird how little Pilaf is in this arc because I remember this being the Pilaf. It's labeled the Pilaf arc in like every list I find. And I think a lot more Dragon Ball fans who've seen the anime remember him more. He's really not in this arc at all, except for like not two chapters, but like a couple of chapters because they really resolve it very quickly. A lot of the stuff that we know now about Goku in the future is very like rushed in this. Like they really explain that Goku killed his grandpa very quickly.
Yeah, I think it's like a throwaway phrase from like Yamcha or something.
Yeah.
After they explain he turned into a monster, and then somebody says something about it. They're like, oh, that means he killed his grandpa.
Yeah, they figured it out very quickly. Which, I mean, they kind of just handed us that, but they didn't really, like... They didn't explain it throughout the arc.
There's no reason for them to at that point, right? All the people who know that his grandpa were killed by a monster were there when he turned into the monster. There's no reason for them to be like, so let's talk about Goku being a fucking murderer.
No, what I'm saying is, like, there was no... Because you find out how Gohan dies... in like the same chapter, Goku turns into monkey.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's very quick. He's like, yeah, my grandpa died from being squashed by this monster. And he said, never look at the moon. And then they were like, all right, Goku, don't look at the moon. He's like, what? And he looks at the fucking moon.
Well, to be fair, they were like, look at the moon. And then they were like, don't look at the moon.
Yeah, that's true. And then they were like, okay, that was a close one. And Goku was like, hey, look, the moon. I think, like, I don't know. It was very quick. Which I get at this point, it is a like comedy manga rather than like a battle shonen.
Yeah.
But still interesting. I wouldn't even say like it's bad. It's just kind of an interesting decision.
Yeah, I really like the comedy aspect of it, in my opinion. They do really well to set up like characters interacting, being fun, being interesting. Like, I'm surprised that Yamcha isn't an arc. He's there as a villain way more than he is as a friend in this very beginning part.
Yeah. This is the Yamcha arc.
Yeah. In fact, let's talk a little bit more about Yamcha. Yamcha is just a bandit for no reason. He has a bunch of cars.
Yeah. Well, he makes his money off being a bandit. Like, they don't really go into why he's a bandit, you know? But then he just, like... Well, I'll get to that. But yeah, he's a bandit with power. All these characters being introduced in what I was, like, recalling it, happened way slower. Like I was not expecting Goku, the whole original Dragon Ball team, to be like introduced so quickly.
Yeah.
I remember Yamcha being very like way further than what this felt like. Um, and then like Oolong was like just a couple of chapters after you
Yeah,
meet
literally,
Bulma.
he as a 5-year-old was like, I'm gonna take these 15-year-olds and make them my girlfriends. They
Yeah,
were like 12,
yeah, they're like
8. I have
12.
no idea how old they are. I was thinking about Bulma.
Bulma should be like 16, I think.
Yeah. He's like kidnapping them, and then he's just making them live in his penthouse or something
Hmm.
for no reason.
It is a really funny like with like Oolong who's like picking up these.
Should we be talking more about like who these characters are? We're just kind of talking.
I'm assuming that if you're listening to this, you also read Dragon Ball or you can read along with us. So I'm gonna because the last thing I want to do is like like go and like explain everything. I think I'd rather just talk about my thoughts
You're right. We're
about a
not a
specific.
summary. This isn't a
Yeah,
summary stream. This is a
yeah,
discussion stream.
yeah. Um, but yeah, Oolong. Who? Okay, so I think a lot of people assume Oolong's way older in the beginning because in the dub, his voice is like he's like an old man.
Ah.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm like an old guy. See, like
Yeah.
I'm gonna kidnap you, a bunch of little girls, and then like in the manga, it doesn't come off that way because he right off the bat he sees Bulma, he's like a little older than me, but you know,
Not even a little. I think he's
like he's like a good amount older, right?
yeah, he's like 6.
Yeah, he is like 6,
He's fresh out of kindergarten. Transformation kindergarten. Literally what he says.
which is really funny.
Yeah.
So like it makes it like less weird than if it was like Oolong the old man, you know?
Yeah.
Which is really funny because in the dub they give Poir like the child voice.
Yeah. Well,
So-
I don't know why. I guess it makes sense why they wouldn't give it to Oolong because he's supposed to be a perv. They don't
Yeah.
want to make a pervy child persona,
I mean,
despite the fact that's exactly what they made.
Yeah, like I mean, I guess it was just a very interesting decision on the dub.
Anyway, we're not here about the dub.
Yeah,
He doesn't sound
very,
like that in the
very,
manga.
Yeah, you're right. You're so right, King. We also meet Master Roshi. In fact, we meet Master Roshi before Oolong.
Well, yeah, that does make that I do remember though.
I remember it being like so. I think I combined in my head the Ox King and Master Roshi being all at the same time, which they kind of. A lot of stuff I remember from the Ox King did happen when I thought it was going to happen.
And your memories of Dragon Ball are like a smear.
It really is. Like I remember Z way better.
That doesn't make sense though.
But yeah, so and because like I remember all the important stuff in Dragon Ball. It's just the orders or the how quickly they happen was very different in my head. You meet Master Roshi very quickly. One of my least favorite jokes in the manga is right there.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't like Master Roshi as a character. I like him as a fighter. He's like really conniving when he fights. He's actually like a strategist. He's a master. My issue with him, it obviously stems from the fact that he is the horny old man bit, like personified. He's like one of the original ones you think of when you think of who is like a perverted old man.
I don't like Roshi until the next arc,
Yeah.
which we'll talk about. But it's like in this arc, he sucks.
Yeah, especially his original introduction is interesting because as he starts, he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna offer you fucking immortality because
That part made me laugh.
because you brought my turtle to the ocean."
That part really made me laugh.
then-
The immortal phoenix died.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think like, yeah, I keep forgetting and I keep bringing this up, kind of flabbergasted. Master Roshi cannot die of old age because he's immortal.
Yeah, he's old as fuck,
Yeah,
and he was about to give Goku immortality.
for the shits and giggles,
The
man.
shits and gigs. What's so funny is Master Roshi and his tendency to like lose or destroy magical items, very funny to me. Like
Great
later, we also meet Chi Chi in this arc in Ox King.
Oh yeah.
Also, and looking back, I remember Chi Chi playing such a bigger role in Dragon Ball.
No.
Not at all.
No, she's there for 4 seconds,
And
asks
she's
to be
gone.
Goku's wife, and leaves.
And leaves. Crazy in retrospect. But they go to. I do like the interactions though.
They give the Ox King and Chi Chi such a weird dialect.
I love it actually. They're country folk.
Yeah, but he's a king. So you would think, yeah, like of what though?
He is just so strong. He took over that mountain and
Set it on fire? What happened to his house?
it was on fire.
Yeah, but like this is one of my things that I don't like about Toriyama is he does zero proper world building. We don't know jack shit about the world. Even now, we don't know jack shit. We just know that the dog is a king.
Yeah. I think now there, because I think if you overdo the world building, then you run into the problems of like how does this work. I think he doesn't do enough, but I think if he were to world build more, we'd have more problems. It's like Hunter x Hunter. Like Hunter x Hunter is like so overly complicated while not elaborating on what needs to be elaborated on that it pisses me off.
This isn't about Hunter x Hunter. Never bring that up.
Never talk about these things ever again.
But that's true though. Hunter x Hunter does have a lot of problem with its world building, especially when it started talking about like the world.
Yeah.
Like where we're leaving. Hey, you know how it looks like this is the only place? What if there was like a bigger continent?
Yeah. Which was cool.
Anyway, fast forward, we just spoiled Hunter x Hunter a little bit.
Yeah, fuck it.
With Dragon Ball, the issue with it is we don't know jack shit about anything. Not only up to this point, up to this point, we don't know jack shit about the world. We just know that I think Bulma lives in West City at this point. Not even that, maybe.
We don't know that yet. I think, which I think it's the very beginning of Dragon Ball. That's fine. They're just journeying to different places, finding the Dragon Balls. It's fun.
I would have liked more info on the Ox King, though. Besides him being, Goku's granddad's friend.
Yeah, Master Roshi's student. Why doesn't he know the Kamehameha wave? They don't call it that. They don't call it that in the manga.
That was another localization thing that I thought, first of all, I completely agree with. Second, I thought was weird. Because I've always called it the Kamehameha because I grew up with Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Before I went back to Z, or back to the original. So they've always called it the Kamehameha in Z. It was initially the Kamehameha wave. Or Kamehameha wave. I don't know how you want to verbalize that.
The dub called it the Kamehameha wave, which is like, I think it's fine. And then just yelling Kamehameha. Because they call it the Kamehameha wave, but still yell Kamehameha in the dub.
Kamiyamama.
The Kamiyamama. It was interesting. I think if the Viz redubbing or retranslation probably just did that for simplicity's sake. Just like everyone calls it this, let's just call it this. Because I was thinking, like weird how they never at any point called it the Kamehameha wave.
This looks more like GT than it does Dragon Ball.
Okay, I thought the same thing. These 3-in-1s, the art on the 3-in-1s are
modernized.
Interesting.
Also, this looks foul on the back of Pilaf.
Okay, so 2 ways that you can read Dragon Ball right now is to do what we did and get the box set, like so. There's also these 3-in-1s of the manga that you can get. I own the first 3 on 3-in-1. And there are some white slashes on Pilaf looking like I nutted on him.
It looks like there was a sticker where Pilaf's face was and you tore it off.
And then nutted on him.
Yeah, and then nutted on him.
And then I nutted on him. Somebody listening to this thinking it's like just like a manga, discussion, and then we get vulgar.
Yeah.
Like, God, no.
Talk about the manga.
I was listening to this at work.
It's on the intercom.
I put this on for my employees here at Viz Media.
This is how they get us to get them to work.
Yeah.
You can also, I believe there's a digital app that Viz has or Shonen has that you can read. I think it's for like a monthly subscription. You can read manga.
I really like.
I guess you could just read them through Shonen Jump.
Yeah, you could just read them through Shonen Jump. One thing I really liked is that there are a lot of little visual touches. Like in Pilaf's room, he has like Shonen Jump magazines. He's
also like a wall break character. He breaks the fourth wall. He talks about the Shonen Jump.
That was really weird.
Yeah. So for people who don't remember, people who are just like listening to this as like a weird overview, there's just this weird gag where one of his associates, who was my favorite, one of his henchmen. In fact, I didn't realize this until like right now. She's the cutest character I think in this whole so far.
She also pops up out of fucking nowhere
Yeah, and leaves.
and leaves.
But she's making like a gag joke, and then he's like, "What is this, Doctor Slump? No, this is not." And then he starts talking about how Shonen Jump ratings and whatnot. And then suddenly Mai has a golden poop on a stick, which I think is a Doctor Slump gag.
Have you read Doctor Slump?
No.
I
I
have
kind
not
of
either.
want to because Arale is like an adorable what you call it, and I wanted an excuse to get a figure of her.
I love that she's like. Her power
Also, I
scaling
mean,
is ridiculous.
who's Arale? We haven't gotten there yet.
Well, she's not a Dragon Ball character.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Talking about like the fights, I want to talk about the fights a little bit. A lot of the fights come down. So we're all the way up to the end of the Pilaf arc. A lot of the fights kind of come down like very quickly. A lot of them early are very fast. It's always like a very quick interaction of Goku beat them or Goku's too hungry to beat them. And I think that's every fight up until now.
Yeah, that is pretty much how it goes. I will say though, like Dragon Ball's paneling is something that I think is like a masterclass on panel work. Hasn't quite got up to like I think the next arc fucking kills it when it comes to paneling. But there is some that I really like when he punches like Goku punches Yamcha and he breaks the panels. Like he bounces off the top of the panels and then hits the ground and then the panels on top like break. I love little things like that. And I think Toriyama does a great job at paneling. Everything feels so cohesive. And I don't feel like really lost anywhere. There are a few points where like, so I guess it doesn't really apply to manga and anime, or at least manga. But in film, there's something that we call the 180-degree rule. And it's basically you have this perspective 180 degrees. Let's say the camera right here is facing me. And if I'm talking, the camera's never going to switch to make me look like I'm on a different part of the room. So, like, if I'm on the right, I'm never going to move the camera in any way to make it look like I'm on the left. You know what I mean? Toriyama likes to do that a lot, and those are the only points where I feel like I get disoriented, where I can't tell where people are standing, like, in, like, relative to each other. So I have to look back at previous panels to figure that out again.
Well, sometimes it's just wrong. Sometimes someone will like be visually close and then have a run up for no reason.
Yeah, there's also a lot of skips in like time.
Yeah.
So it'll be like it's hard to explain, and I'll put like examples on screen as I see them. If I remember. They'll just be like a skip to like something that someone else is doing, but it skips like a good amount of like time in between, so suddenly things are happening. So that gets disorienting very quickly. But other than that, I think the panel work is really good. And the art is really good.
One thing I do want to bring up, it's like completely jarring now that I'm like flipping through this what's called again. What the fuck is Chi-Chi wearing?
That is weird, yeah.
Like, not only is it like a weird outfit, like in general, like why is like we've seen no character from this point ever. Not only to this point, but like into the future, wear an outfit similar to this. Why does it have a death beam attached to the forehead? Why does it have a blade that she can throw with super pinpoint accuracy that can cut off a T-Rex's head? What the fuck is Chi-Chi doing?
Does she have... So the only thing I can think of for the blade on the head is like, does she have the blade to match like the Ox King's like helmet and axe?
Well, he's wearing an ox helmet.
And then he has an axe. And that's the only thing I can think of. It's like a mix of the two.
I mean, I guess.
Like yeah, that's like stretching it. That's the only thing I can think of.
Like, the Ox King has, like, just a normal Viking helmet with, like, goggles on it.
Yeah, like, why didn't Chi-Chi have, like, any, like, kind of Viking-esque
Yeah, her...
attire?
Her... I don't know, her fit's just weird. I think it's a cute fit, like, retrospectively. Like, it's cute, but, like, why?
Yeah.
I do like the color scheme for it. But this is black and white, so I can't really see it.
Yeah. Blue on Chi-Chi... like works, and I think later on, which we'll get to.
There is no later on. This is only now.
You're right. We live in the now. I like. So far, I like all the. What the fuck? We're talking about fits. We're talking about Bulma.
Oh yeah,
Bulma's fits are crazy.
Yeah, I like. Okay, so that's the one thing they do really well in Dragon Ball. Aside from Goku, everyone changes clothes a lot. Yamcha, who's a bandit, doesn't change clothes until later, but everyone changes their clothes a lot, specifically Bulma, especially because her clothes just keep getting ruined.
Like in the beginning, she just has a change of clothes. Like she has a regular fit, which I really like. I love the Bulma fit.
Her PJs, which is just like a giant T-shirt.
Yeah, her PJs. She has the later on. She has like the hat and like yeah, she has like the hat and jacket. The hat that just says Bulma.
Yeah, you have that starter fit as a figure, right? You should have brought that out for props.
I'll put a picture of it on screen.
Yeah, but you should have brought it out as a prop.
I should have, but it's also not color accurate. I guess no, it's color accurate to the manga. I guess because her hair is purple in the color mangas. I do want to get those.
Is it? I don't know. It looks black and white to me.
The color mangas look really sick, and I do want a copy of them. So maybe I'll get those eventually.
I'm like a weird manga purist. I actually prefer black and white. I like color splash panels like every once in a while, especially if they're showing what's the word? Trying to prove a point or to like hammer something down. I remember I was reading this manga that I'll never see again, where you turn the page. It's like it's happy-go-lucky. You turn the page and suddenly this girl has like a blood red eye bleeding, and she's like suddenly a threat. And it was one of the most jarring things I've ever seen because it was a full color page, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Never saw that manga again.
It was crazy. I turned the page, put me to a QR code to a VR game that I had to play before flipping the page. That'd be so funny. I usually like black and white manga. I think Dragon Ball for me I really like because the color work is usually really good, especially from what I've seen in Super. But like you have manga like Naruto where I'm like, black and white's better.
Especially because the animation's bad. Sorry, I'm talking about anime.
Yeah.
I've never seen the color manga.
The color manga for like at least the color pages for Naruto that I've seen are not my favorite.
Tell me his hair is not black and white. We'll get there if we ever do Naruto.
Yeah, we'll get to that fucking joke. Which I'm sure we'll do Naruto eventually. I think if you have suggestions, please let us know because we're hacks. We started with Dragon Ball because it's easy.
We started with Dragon Ball because we started before we had the idea of the show.
Yeah.
We both had the omnibus, or not the omnibus, the box set, so that's why we decided to get it. Let's talk about Master Roshi again. So Master Roshi is an interesting character because he's kind of like an ex machina when Bulma can't be.
I thought you were gonna say he's a monster.
He is kind of a monster.
He's kind of a monster.
Why does he get jacked for doing the Kamehameha sometimes?
Yeah, because he doesn't need to.
Yeah. And no one else does ever.
Yeah.
He just sometimes gets buff.
Yeah. It's very like...
Can he fight like that, you think?
Does he ever?
No. He does it during a fight, but he does it to do the Kamehameha really strong.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess we'll get to the later stuff when we get there, but...
He does it to do the Kamehameha here.
Yeah, he does it to the Kamehameha here. But he never does it to like fight.
Also, what a dick. Roshi's like, yeah, I'll put out your fucking mountain. What is he, a fucking genie? He destroyed the mountain.
Yeah, he destroyed their house, but there was no fire. I mean, yeah, he's a dick, but also like he fixed the climate.
Yeah, that's true. They were like, hey, it's cooler already.
Like Ox King.
But like, why did that work at all? Wouldn't there just be raining fiery debris everywhere?
No, it's a wave. That's why they fucked up with the translation. It's supposed to be a wave.
Yeah, it's actually water.
Yeah, the Kamehameha wave. The turtle something wave.
I don't know.
They also just never call him like Master Roshi.
Yeah, they call him the Turtle Hermit sometimes, right?
They're like the immortal Turtle Hermit is what I keep hearing or I keep reading or something like that. Something along the lines of something way too long that is not Master Roshi. Also, we never know his name.
Well, I think we do because Chi-Chi checks his ID. When he's like, I'm Master Roshi, Chi checks his ID and she's like, oh my god, you're right.
Yeah, but we don't know it.
Chi-Chi just knows his biological name.
I guess so, because she never says it out loud.
Well, let's review that fucking panel.
No, like I guarantee you, I guarantee
When
you, we
reviewing
do
that
not
panel.
know Master Roshi's name up until no, not even in where we are at Super. We don't know his name.
I like to imagine his ID, his driver's license says the invincible old master. She goes, "So prove you're the invincible old master. Look at my driver's license. What does it say?"
The
And then she
invincible
goes, "Oh
old
my god."
master. It's you.
Also, that's another interesting gag they do is giving a character a very fatal wound for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
Like everyone getting shot many times.
Well, they don't get fatal wounds.
No, some of
Goku
them
just
do
gets
bleed
hurt.
eventually. But Master Roshi gets the fucking blade stuck in his head.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? You just what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's a gag manga, to be fair. It's a gag manga at this point.
At this point.
But
And I will say though, as much as I like this, I like this arc. It is not my favorite.
it doesn't hold up for me.
It doesn't.
I like the characters. It doesn't hold up at all.
It's like when the characters are interacting and they're just having fun, great. When the fights are happening, because it seems like he hasn't got down, like what makes the fights good. There's like here and there the panel work is really good in the fights. It's just not there yet, and I can understand the decisions they made going forward to kind of freshen it up. But like it's really held back by just how like, off the cuff it feels, how sexualized Bulma is for no reason.
Well, just like I guess that's another character who is like weirdly sexualized, like Chi Chi, like that out, like what, like a weird thong and a breastplate.
It is weird. It is very weird, but they also make the gag of like Yamcha being like, "What the fuck? She's only 13. I don't give a fuck. I don't care who that girl
Oh yeah,
is."
Poir being like, "Aren't you scared? She's a girl," and he's like, "Yeah, but I'm not a pedophile."
Base Yamcha.
Let's go, Yamcha. 1W.
1W, bro.
We got to do that other manga eventually.
Yes. We really very much do. Yeah, so I really think that's really all I have to say about Pilaf. Like,
I have a lot. Oh, you want to talk more about specifically Pilaf? I have a lot to say. What is Pilaf, first of all? There's a lot of weird dynamics about the world set up to this point. There's a lot of anthropomorphic animals that don't make any sense. We do find a bunch of weird, like, so first of all, there's Oolong, who's a pig. Why is he pig? I don't know. Poir, who's a flying cat. Not just a regular cat. He just kind of floats there for no reason. And then we have Pilaf, who is just a short blue man.
yeah, you could really be whatever you want in this world.
Yeah, the
Also,
most
Shenron
normal.
looks so weird in this cover.
Yeah,
It's so strange.
he looks weird in the poster too. I really like that poster.
Yeah. I'll put it on screen. I really like the poster we got. If you haven't picked up the Dragon Ball box set, I will say so far I'm really enjoying the read. Because we are recording a few episodes today, so we'll be talking about a few arcs. I'm really enjoying the read. I really think it was worth for $80. Because I think it's constantly on sale. You're right. I think it's constantly on sale. So for $80, this was a really good purchase for me. So I say if you want to read the manga, I would say pick it up, read it. We'll be going through the entire thing, so if you want to follow along, that's what we'll be doing. But yeah, you can pretty much do whatever you want in Dragon Ball. Well, you can't be whatever you want.
Yeah.
Anybody can be anthropomorphic, whatever the fuck.
Weirdly giant people, weirdly tiny people.
Except for fish, is what I've noticed.
Yeah.
Like fish are just food.
Mai is just a person in this world.
Yeah. So is Pilaf.
I don't know about that.
Pilaf's just a guy. There's literally nothing special about him other than he's short and blue.
Hold up. I know I said Poir just kind of flies around, but does Poir actually just fly around?
Is Poirachi?
I don't know. That's kind of what I use. Okay, I'm not sure. I don't think Poir flies. I might have made that up.
Yeah. Also, Bulma at times can be very insufferable. I'm looking back at the Yamcha
all
fight.
the fucking time, dude.
I love Bulma, and I love how like
No, Poir does just fly. Look. Sorry, you're gonna have to pull this up randomly. They just float in there.
yeah, he's just floating. Yeah. Poir just flies.
Like, they make it look like he's standing on something, but he's not. Or they're not.
One
Like their
thing,
pronouns.
one thing I do like about Bulma is Bulma is so in her own little world that when they go to like the town with the bunny man, um everybody's just giving Bulma free shit and she's like, "Oh, it's because I'm so beautiful."
Yeah.
This makes sense. This is how the world should be. She doesn't think twice about it, but she's also the one to deduce what's going on.
How is everyone allowed to do whatever the fuck they want? Well, first of all, why is there a bunny man? Second of all, how does this bunny man have total control of this area and no fucking person has stopped him? Are there no international laws?
Nah, it's the Wild Wild West. No one gives a fuck.
No,
Like,
that's where Bulma lives. West City.
you're right. No, that's just the West. This is the Wild Wild West.
But, like...
So West, it's East even.
But why are there so many evil fucking dictators everywhere? We got the bunny man. We have the Ox King, who was just, like, kind of mean, but canonically has killed many people for all the treasure he's been hoarding. And when Master Roshi's like, "Have you been killing people?" He's like, "My bad. I'll stop."
There's like a level of like, there are no heroes in Dragon Ball.
Tell that to the cops who are chasing Launch through the desert.
I know.
For no reason.
We're not there yet.
Yeah, you're right.
Who's Launch? We don't know yet.
That's what I'm going to eat later. My Launch.
Dragon Ball fans be like, "Who's Launch?" Because they didn't read fucking Dragon Ball. Sorry, can we talk about that? This is like very... I feel like I'm done talking about Pilaf. This is more like... This is an end tangent. I've been seeing a lot of people on Twitter.
You're talking about one specific poll. I know what you're talking about.
Yes, but it is a lot of posts that I see. And you know what I'm talking about. But it was like... And I won't say what the poll is because it's spoilery. But...
So there are a bunch of Z superfans who like to pretend they have a lot of knowledge about Dragon Ball Z. Because they do. They have a lot of knowledge about Dragon Ball Z. However, every character in Dragon Ball Z has an origin in Dragon Ball, aside from characters who are obviously introduced in Z. The issue is that a lot of people don't know that. In fact, I think all the Z fighters was what we call them.
Yeah.
Why do we call them that?
I don't know. I think they were just... I think... Was that a fan thing?
I have no idea.
It might have been like the narrator being like,
says
the
it,
Warriors.
Bulma says it in Abridged. Anyway, all of them have their origins in Dragon Ball. Every single one.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, like, I think a lot of people know the end arcs of Dragon Ball, but not the beginnings.
Yeah.
Anyway, I do suggest you read this. Like, as much as I'm shitting on it now, this is all just like character development stuff, specifically for Goku.
It's about to get really good, in my opinion.
It's about to get fine, in my opinion.
I love the next arc.
I want to talk a little... Actually, I know this is like weird. I kind of want to talk about his great ape form really quick.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about the Ozaru form.
So he turns into a giant monkey. We all know that's how he killed his grandpa. He talks about it once or twice. So in this, it's really weird. Because first of all, we don't know why. We don't know how. We just know that it happened. What the fuck? Mine, her night uniform. Sorry. I got distracted. I lost it. She sleeps in the same... They sleep in the same room. All of them.
Yeah.
They're just friends, dude.
No. Okay, sorry. We have not talked enough about the Pilaf gang.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all sleep in the same room. They're all just like...
They own a castle with a death chamber that if you sit in it, you'll die if the sun comes up.
But they share a room.
Yeah.
Which is like so funny to me. Like they're all just like... Because to me, it's like I want to know more about them. Which I don't think we ever get to learn.
No, we don't actually learn about them individually.
Which is so funny because it's like they're probably all around the same age. Pilaf is like their leader. And like for what, you know? So it's like I want to know like how did they meet? How was this happening? Why do they listen to Pilaf? Things we just never get answers to.
I'm gonna get a Mai figure.
And like they're they ruin Mai later.
Yeah. So, like, if you think about it for too long, they ruin Mai. But her as a character is still there.
Minute.
Yeah, that's too long. If you think about any of these characters for a minute, they're ruined.
I guess.
Roshi's a pedophile.
Yeah, and he already sucks.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Anyway, speaking of Roshi sucks, let's go to the next arc.
Thank you for watching this episode of Read It in Weeb. Next episode, we're going to be going over the Budokai Tenkaichi arc, and that'll be around volumes like 3 to 5. We'll be going over those and giving our thoughts on that. If you like this episode, like the video, subscribe. Let us know if you want us to cover any other manga in the future when we're done with this. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Later.
See you in the next volume.